Imagine this. You wake up in the middle of the night and the house is unnervingly quiet. There's no hum of the furnace, no warmth from the vents, and the cold air is seeping into your bones. The power is out and the temperature is dropping fast. The chill of the winter night is creeping through the walls, but you've been through this before. You know how to keep the cold at bay. We're talking survival instincts. One of the best tricks, using a tent in your bedroom. It might sound crazy, but trust me, we've used this trick in the harshest conditions. It's all about creating a microclimate to conserve energy. First things first, we need to size up the situation. Make sure that the power is definitely out. Check the fuse box. Look for lights from neighbors. If it's just your house, we need to move quickly. The faster we act, the better our chances of staying warm. Remember, cold is a silent predator. It can creep up on you, sap your strength, and leave you vulnerable. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to take charge, adapt, and overcome. Our mission is to create a small, insulated space where our body heat can work its magic. Think of it as building a survival shelter, but instead of branches and leaves, we're using blankets, sleeping bags, and, yes, even a tent. You don't need an elaborate setup, just enough to trap heat around you. Remember, every degree counts when it comes to body temperature, so let's get to work. Hopefully, you've got a camping tent stashed somewhere in a closet or garage. Any small, lightweight tent will do, preferably something that can fit in your bedroom without being too cramped. This isn't a luxury camping trip, people. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bear, I don't have a tent. Don't worry, we're survivors. If you don't have a tent, we can improvise a large blanket, a tarp, even heavy-duty plastic sheeting can work. The key here is to create a barrier against the cold. We're building a fortress of warmth, a cocoon to protect us from the elements. Get creative, look around your house, and I guarantee you'll find something we can use. Remember, in a survival situation, resourcefulness is just as important as any tool. We're going to use what we have to make it through this. Now let's get building. Before we pitch our tent, we need to prepare our base camp. Clear the area around your bed. Move any furniture or obstacles out of the way. We need space to work, people. Make sure the floor is clear. We don't want any tripping hazards in the dark. And trust me, the last thing you want in a power outage is a twisted ankle. Remember, safety first. We're not just surviving the cold, we're surviving the unexpected. That means being aware of our surroundings and minimizing risks. Think of this as prepping a campsite. We're creating a safe, comfortable space where we can rest and conserve energy. Now, let's get this tent up. Tent time, building our thermal bunker. Now comes the fun part, setting up our thermal bunker. Place the tent near your bed for easy access. Minimize exposure to the cold. Smaller tents can wrap around your bed for warmth. Think of it as a warm hug on a cold night. Larger tents should have space to sit or lie down. We're going for maximum comfort. Secure the tent to prevent shifting. No surprises in the middle of the night. Use blankets to create secure walls. We're building a fortress of warmth. Insulation is key. Think like an Arctic fox. Now that our tent is up, it's time to give it that extra layer of insulation. Think like an Arctic fox, people. They know a thing or two about staying warm in freezing temperatures. This is where things get creative. Grab whatever you have nearby, blankets, sleeping bags, pillows, even extra towels, and stuff them into the corners and around the edges of the tent. We're talking about creating a cozy cocoon. If you have thick winter jackets or sweaters, you can also use those to add more warmth to the inside of the tent. Remember, every little bit helps. The more insulation we have, the better we'll be able to trap our body heat and create a comfortable microclimate inside the tent. Let's get cozy. Seal it up, no drafts allowed. Okay team, we're almost there. Now that our tent is insulated, it's time to batten down the hatches and seal up any gaps or openings. We don't want any of our precious heat escaping. If your tent has a flap or door, zip it up tight. If you've used blankets or plastics, secure them around the edges as best as you can to minimize any cold drafts from getting in. Think of it as winterizing your home. We're sealing up any cracks or crevices where cold air can seep in. The goal is to create a hermetically sealed environment, a bubble of warmth where we can ride out the storm. Remember, every little bit of heat we can conserve will make a difference. Congratulations, you've built your very own survival shelter. Now it's time to reap the rewards of your hard work. Climb inside the tent and feel the difference in temperature. It's like stepping into a warm bath on a cold day. You should already notice a slight difference in temperature. This little bubble of warmth will be much cozier than the rest of the freezing room, and it's only going to get warmer. Layer up as much as you can with blankets, sleeping bags, and warm clothing, including socks and a hat if needed. Remember, layering is key to staying warm in cold weather. Your body heat will quickly start to raise the temperature inside your tent, creating a comfortable, insulated space. It's amazing how much heat our bodies can generate, even when we're at rest. So relax, take a deep breath, and enjoy the warmth. You've earned it. Remember, in a survival situation, your body is your most valuable asset, and in this case, it's also your primary source of heat. Since there's no external heat source, you'll rely entirely on your body to warm up the space. But don't worry, our bodies are incredibly efficient at generating heat. The tent should trap the warmth from your breath, body heat, and any blankets you have inside. It's like creating a giant thermos flask. Curl up in a ball, tuck your feet into a blanket, and focus on staying warm. If you have any warm drinks like tea or hot water bottles, bring them into the tent with you. A warm beverage can do wonders to comfort you and add to your body temperature. Remember, every little bit helps. Ventilation, a breath of fresh air. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bear, you want me to seal up my tent tight, but won't I suffocate? And you're right to be concerned. Ventilation is crucial, even in a survival situation. While we want to trap heat, we also need to ensure that there's a little airflow to avoid carbon dioxide buildup. Remember, we need oxygen to survive. If your tent is completely sealed, consider cracking the zipper or creating a small hole for ventilation. Just be sure to keep the temperature stable. Opening it too much will let in cold air and defeat the purpose. It's all about finding a balance between warmth and fresh air. Remember, we're aiming for survival, not suffocation. External heat. Use with caution. Now, if you're lucky enough to have other heat sources available, you can use them to supplement your body heat. But remember, safety first. If you're able to safely use candles or small battery-operated heaters, consider placing them outside the tent, not inside for safety reasons. Never ever use a fuel-burning appliance inside a tent or enclosed space. Carbon monoxide is a silent killer, and we don't want to take any chances. Be extremely cautious with these and never leave them unattended. Their heat can help raise the overall temperature of the room, making your tent more effective. Remember, fire is a tool, but it's also a dangerous one. Use it wisely and always err on the side of caution. Ride out the storm. You've got this. We've reached our final chapter, folks. You've built your shelter, you've insulated it, and you've got your heat sources sorted out. Now it's just a matter of waiting out the storm. Don't forget to stay calm and conserve your energy. If you've got family members with you, snuggle together to share body heat and stay as close as possible. There's strength in numbers and warmth. Keep the tent space as minimal as possible to ensure that you're not losing any warmth. Remember, we're creating a microclimate here, and every little bit of space counts. And remember, even if the outside world is freezing, this little bubble you've created can give you the comfort you need until the power comes back on. You've got this. Stay warm, stay strong, survive. So there you have it, folks. The next time the power goes out and the mercury plummets, remember these tips. Building a tent inside your home might seem a little unorthodox, but trust me, it works. It's all about adaptation, using your resources and having the will to survive. And remember, a little bit of ingenuity can go a long way when you're facing the elements. Stay warm, stay strong, and I'll see you on the next adventure.